the video starts, head down below, make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Check out all our socials in the description and hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Oh yeah, welcome back. Offbeat podcast.
You are upbeat. That's the most upbeat intro you've ever done. How excited are
Well,
you?
we've got a very special guest, mate.
Very special guest.
Very
Very
special
special guest. Been in the making for quite a while.
Yeah.
For quite a while.
Yeah. Got drum bass DJ HD in joining us.
Yeah, HD Harry, how are you, mate?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Hey, big thanks for coming on.
No, appreciate it. It's nice to be on the other side of it.
Should be a good laugh today, to be fair.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about your event you just did with your label. So you've got a label, haven't you?
Yeah, Disintegrate Audio.
Yeah.
Me and Josh.
Shout out Josh Deacon.
Yeah, shout out Deacon.
He's going to be absolutely buzzing in here. Have you told him you're coming on?
Yeah, I seen him on Saturday. I was like, I'm going on the Offbeat on Monday. He's like, oh, I swear. Oh, he said, by the way.
I was going to say, if you didn't tell him and he just started watching this, because he watches like every episode, he'd be
what the fuck is going on? So we've been running that since last year, since April, May.
Nice.
Run the first one with Aperio last year in Manchester. And then we got this one in the works with D&B Lab, shout out D&B Lab, and Spectrum, shout out Spectrum.
Are they events companies?
Yeah, so Spectrum I've worked with a couple of times under my last organisation company.
Right.
We put on LSB in Liverpool a few years ago.
Oh yeah. Sick.
We collabed with them and D&B Lab to put on Monroe, Rick and Colette Warren. So that was in Meraki and it was mad. It was crazy.
Was it busy? Was it?
It was about 200 people in there, so like not too busy, but a good vibe,
Nice,
and especially for like a liquid night, because there's so many nights that are a lot heavier, and it's usually full to the brim. But for liquid, we were pretty happy. Like,
Yeah.
Is that your main genre then? Are you into your liquid? Is that your go-to?
Primarily, yeah. I'm going more towards like Versages and Monty, like the techie rollers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
Monty's so good. Monty's unreal. Kieran has a thing where, so Kieran, our mate, I've never known someone be into drum and bass as much as he is.
Okay.
And he used to send me just like tracks over and over again, and probably like 1 in 5 would be from Monty.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Not even joking. And like, he sent me songs that I've just never heard of.
Yeah.
Like, usually I'd never know Monty, and so good. But like, it was hard to find a lot of his stuff back in the day on Spotify. Because I listened to it on Spotify quite a long time. And then I was like, enter the world of SoundCloud, and that's when
Yeah.
it comes into your own, don't you? Especially with all the acts that big.
Yeah, man. He's been. I think he's only been. I'm on his Patreon, but I think he's only been doing it like 5 years. I'm just like, how the fuck did you get that good in 5 years?
Yeah.
But his work rate's insane. But yeah, that's kind of the style I'm going into now, more with my production and sets as well. Because obviously you can play liquid, but we played 2:30 till 4, so you're not going to want some like Lensman at 2:30. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it was sick. I played one of my tunes, Spirals, and Monroe fucking pulled it up, which was mad.
Yeah.
So around like.
Yeah. He said to Deacon, he was like, "Whose tune's this?" He was like, "Oh, it's Harry's." He came up, spun it round. I was like, "What?" So yeah, that was mad.
I'd be buzzing, wouldn't you? It's like, yeah.
It was mad. But sick vibes overall. It was just, good energy all night. When you go somewhere, I was like, people coming in, I was doing tickets and that. I was just like, thank you for coming in. People like, it's so nice that you said thank you. Like, you go to so many events and they're like, yeah, scan your ticket, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, just have a bit of a chat with people.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Interact
Like,
with
it should be.
then.
That's it. And then next time they'll be like, oh yeah, like these guys, they were nice, and they'll come down. It's like, I think there's too many people doing events that are like just in it for the money and the status. Like, you got to be in it because you genuinely love putting it on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly.
Especially with these big events as well, because big events have taken over, haven't they?
Yeah.
The Manchester scene now is just, well, it's not dead, but it's dying, and it's nearly dead. Like, drum and bass wise, I just think compared to where it was, I mean, like for small creators, because obviously you got your warehouse projects now that are just locking people down to contracts and stuff, saying you can't play anywhere else and all that sort of stuff. And like, we used to go to Antwerp Mansion every weekend.
I missed that venue so much. It was so good.
And so good.
You pay £3 and you see people you now have to pay 50 quid to go and see that. Where else? You're like, and then afterwards you meet them. You meet them on the street, wouldn't you?
Oh, what the artists you mean?
Artists, they just come out and chat to you for ages. Yeah. And you're like, what? And now it's just a bit But I suppose that's where the money is, isn't it? So it makes sense.
Yeah, of course.
It makes sense, but I just wish I could go back to Antwerp.
Yeah, well, I see the events online. They do them in the bread shed now.
Yeah.
But I've not been to that venue, but they do it under Antwerp Mansion name, don't they?
Yeah.
It's not the same. Do you remember them toilets? But the doors
Upset. Do you remember when they weren't unisex, were they? But people treated them as unisex.
Oh yeah.
Like everyone was just going anywhere.
Yeah, it was a free for all. It was a madness. But it's a sick venue though. It was a
good
bit
venue
scary.
thinking about it.
I luckily in second year I lived just down the road.
In Fowfield?
Yeah, literally a 5-minute walk.
Did you go uni in Manchester?
Yeah, studied music, but we'll get around to that. So every Friday I was like, we're going to a mansion. Yeah,
it's so easy.
I remember being in there once, and there was this door that was always closed. I thought, it must be locked. Suddenly it opened, and there's loads of people in there smoking weed.
Oh, I
on
swear.
the sofas. I was like,
he had sofas as well. Why did he have sofas just randomly
mate.
dotted around? How weird was it? Was such a weird place.
It was a mad venue.
It was a scatty. It was so. And then when we used to have an act upstairs, sometimes it just felt like the whole place was just going to cave in.
I thought the roof was going to fall.
Yeah. I seen someone double drop Afterglow and Mr. Happy, and the whole crowd just stopped. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, no, that's not the one, lad.
I bet it was probably first act tonight as well.
Warm up.
Yeah. But no, I was going to say the people doing bits in Manchester, block to block, obviously. That's more like foghorn rollers, stuff like that. But they're still doing quite a bit. And Hit and Run, if you're onto them.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing loads of bits at the minute. They did put on in a night in Concourse. Do you know, in the end room in Wales?
Yeah.
But they do loads of events in like Mint Lounge and that as well. So, yeah, they're doing bits.
They're worried about Henry still do events.
They still do.
They do.
Now and then.
Is it a warehouse all the time?
I swear they do them more in the academy and that, don't they?
Yeah,
they're
massive now.
Shy Facts, wasn't it?
Mate, they're doing bits all up and down the country.
Yeah.
Deacon's playing with them on Friday with Hybrid Minds and Turner, which is mad.
Yeah.
And then some of my friends down south, they play nights down there with them. So like, I don't know how big the fucking team is. It's got to be huge.
Must be massive.
Must be.
It's mental, isn't it?
It used to be Baseline that worried about Henry, didn't it?
We did a bit of both, didn't they?
That's what we used to go.
We used to go to a lot of Baseline events they put on, especially in and around kind of Manchester area. Mental that now, like, especially when we're doing like places in Brighton and stuff like that. You're Nottinghams and you're like,
it's
oh, you down there?
I think it's mad when they do Liverpool because there's not a massive drum and bass scene, is there? In Liverpool?
No, it's getting there. It's getting there. But
you reckon it's growing now? Yeah.
Yeah, man. There's a few people doing bits. We've got a night with Breakout Room. Shout out Breakout Room. Next month, they're doing quite a lot at the minute. D&B Lab, who we run a night with, they're doing loads at the minute. They got a night with, You Know That, if you've heard of them. I think they're like Sofa Sound, DRL.
Right.
DRL? Yeah. DLR, not DRL.
Is DRL a thing? I was thinking there, is it like a driving reference?
It's a logistics company. I don't know what it's mixed up. But yeah, they've got a few nights on as well, so it is growing. But I think it's definitely small. Do you know it's small? Like
the only thing that put it in perspective for me was when I did my event Vibe, Invisible Wind.
Oh yeah.
And we did that on the Sunday of Halloween, and the day before was Hospitality. And we had the same capacity in for our event and their event. And we didn't have anyone on the lineup, and they had Metric and stuff like that.
Were you in the top room for it?
We were downstairs, but they only had...
Oh, in the base? Yeah, it's a sick little venue down there, isn't it?
It's like 300 capacity. We had 300 in.
By law, you had 300.
But yeah, only 300 turned up to the upstairs bit, which...
That's crazy for a hospital night as well.
Yeah.
What kind of night were you running? Was it house?
It was Tech House.
Tech House.
Yeah.
That's sick. Do you run them often, like, or?
Often as we can. We've got another one that we're planning this week, so hopefully in March. Shout out Vibe. But yeah, we used to do it as a club night, but it was too frequent, so now we're just doing like every couple of months.
That's the thing. If you're too frequent, people are like, oh no, I can go next week or whatever. So you've got to
keep... when it's empty. And
man. You just got to leave people wanting more, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a way to do it, though.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the best way to do it. Well, Liverpool scene, it's a bit... Do you reckon because it's very is it quite student orientated then?
Yeah.
So is that what kind of brings the tech house sort of?
I don't know. I think just Scousers as well love tech house, don't they? In techno,
But those like Scouse bounce, don't they? like Scouse Bounce and all that. They're like
a few
big,
years ago, yeah.
It's a big like variety of like different genres that they love to play, and it's like fair enough.
If you play in a venue like Red Door, which is a very much a Scouse bar, they love tech house in there. Like it just goes off. But whereas if you play like Soho, it's more commercial.
It's quite small though, isn't it, Liverpool, compared to like Manchester? Manchester's so much bigger, so I think that does attract for bigger crowds, especially. Drum and bass is still not a relatively big scene, is it?
It's definitely growing though. It is
growing.
growing, but yeah, it's not where house is. And to be honest, I don't want it to be either.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like it gets too saturated, and then you get people at the events that don't even know what tunes are playing and just there like taking photos all night, and it's not what drum and bass is about. Like, so.
Yeah, it's like the Deakin put it well, didn't he, when he came on? It's like the underdog.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's a Rocky Balboa in it, the music world.
Yeah.
There's a bit of advertising for your next event. Just do Rocky Balboa and drum and bass.
Just on the poster.
I tell you what, that would be a good boot like that. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Little fog on in it.
Stick a fog on. If in doubt, stick a fog on in it. Don't channel you in a video.
That could go off that. I like that.
So let's get on to a bit of talking about producing. Let's get on to your producing. So have you got any songs coming out in the works? Or?
So nothing's coming out just yet. I've got some stuff finished up. They've sent to a couple of labels.
Yes.
I've got one label in. They are interested, but it's not confirmed yet. But it's a bit of a bigger label that, since I heard the first release, I wanted to get on. So it is special. But yeah, it's not fully confirmed, but fingers crossed. And then I've sent some other bit. I sent some bits to Skank and Bass last week, so we'll see.
Nice.
But yeah, I produced quite a lot last year, and I did release a fair bit, but I wanted to just take a little bit of time out and not just think about the next release, but really kind of find my sound. It's very easy to put a tune together and then just release it, and do you know what I mean? Don't give it a second thought. And I've got plenty of tunes kind of sitting in the bank, but you don't want to release just everything. You want to be like, how can I take my sound elsewhere? Is it something I'm 100% happy with? You just got to progress. Every release has got to be that little bit better. Not even production-wise, but just songwriting. That's the most important thing. I think you can get pretty tied up with worrying about the details. Like, is it loud enough? Like, you've got a certain level of, like, a benchmark to hit. But as long as you can have the best sound in production, but if the tune's shit, then no one's going to listen to it.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, look at Tell Me Something Good.
Yeah.
I mean, that tune is going off at the minute.
It's going off. It's one of the biggest tunes, but the production and mixing on it isn't amazing.
Yeah.
But
it's basic.
But it's on trick though, isn't it?
So catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is very basic. It's because TikTok's blown up, hasn't it? TikTok has sent it to the stratosphere.
I'm not even stepping on there. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not a TikTok guy?
No, man. I spend too much time on Instagram as it is, so I know I'll lose my life to it.
Your life. Like it knows me better than my girlfriend does, and I'm not even joking.
I heard the other day in 2 minutes it can find out, the algorithm picks up what you're watching, and then it will just throw a load of videos at you.
It knows me so well. It goes from like football chants, and then it'll go to dogs, back to football chants, then dogs will come in.
Doing football chants.
bit of wrestling comes in now and then. There's a couple of football people, and I'm just there like, what is that? I was like, what is happening? It sucks you in a bit, and then they take the time off as well. So on iPhones, or they used to, I don't know if they still do, but they take the time off.
At the top of the screen?
So it's all blacked out.
So you can't actually tell what time it is?
No.
Oh, mate.
Clever though, isn't it?
Clever.
It's
that is clever.
You actually have to swipe down to actually see the time on
when
it.
you swipe down, it's just another video.
Yeah, exactly.
I reckon Mark Zuckerberg is pissed with them. He's like, why is Facebook not good anymore?
I mean, he's still sat there in his £4 billion house.
Yeah.
I think he's made for life now, isn't he?
He's got a whole universe to himself.
He's just gonna sit
Are you trying to get a brand deal?
Imagine doing this podcast in the metaverse, full VR headset and everything.
Think how immersive it could be, guys.
But Mark, if you are watching, seriously, get in touch. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook. Imagine just dropping a DM now. You're like, what is happening?
Do you reckon if he was trying to do a brand deal with someone, do you reckon he would DM him through his own platform? Or do you reckon there's a way?
Does he have an account? He's
got to have an account, surely.
But he has the whole thing. So, surely you don't need an account.
Maybe just say, make it so they can't avoid my message.
Maybe get on Twitter. That's like the place to get in touch with people, isn't it?
Yeah.
Imagine. Selling out his own thing. Yeah. Just use Twitter all the time, mate. Facebook's shite.
Just full of mums posting minions.
I wonder what he's like though. Because he started young, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he was like our generation sort of age.
It
was when he was in uni, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Why are we talking about Mark Zuckerberg?
I don't know. This is what
The
our podcast is
tangents
like.
on this are just gonna go.
This is what we do. We just start talking. Wait till we get on Greg's, mate. That's Anyway, we're on about production work. We're on about production.
mate.
So are you quite analytical as like a person? Because obviously with a producing, the way I see it, because obviously I'm not from a music background, the way I see it looking from the outside in, it's very analytical. It's very, you have to take your time with it.
It's scientific almost.
Yes, yeah.
Pretty much. I think it's something that I just, do you know, kind of like when you go into a flow state, it's just the one time that I'm like fully immersed in something.
Yeah.
A bit like TikTok, I don't know what time it is. Do you know what I mean? I'm just in this world and I'm just creating, and it sounds cheesy, like, but when I'm just writing, and I can't even really play piano. I used to play guitar, but sometimes I'll just sit down and I've got like a pad or a drum loop going, and something will just happen, and I can't, honestly, I've never had a piano lesson, but sometimes it'll sound like shit, but sometimes I'll put something together and be like, that's half decent, do you know? So it's just immersing yourself in that. Do you know what I mean? It's
fascinating, isn't it? I suppose once something grips you, like you never know. You never know until it kind of grips you. Like,
that's it. I mean, I used to play guitar before that. Was in bands like metal bands, punk bands. Did acoustic stuff. Did spoken word towards the end, which is weird. But
spoken word's fascinating. You did spoken word.
Yeah,
spoken word.
It's like
poetry, isn't it?
It's like poetry, but
right.
I did it with like music, so it was like sad acoustic music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you never heard spoken word by Jason Status? It's called spoken word, and there is spoken word actually in the song.
Like Green Velvet track then.
A little bit,
That sort of style, but yeah. Listen to after this. We'll put spoken word on by Jason Status because there's a guy on it. I don't know who it is, but he does a bit of like
I don't know who it is.
Sort of spoken word sort of stuff on it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, it's fascinating. Like, it's like it's similar to sort of rap battling a little bit. It's sort of similar.
A little bit. There's a few offshoots because you've got like slam stand-up nights and there's a few things, but the way I went was kind of like sad folky acoustic music, but I can't really sing, so it's just more spoken word. But yeah, I kind of went there and then I went to uni, studied that, and then when I was at uni I was living with a guy called Kim. And he took me to Warehouse Project and wasn't really into a rave scene. I was like, I'll come with you, I don't know what it's about. Yeah. And it was a drum bass night. It was Wilkinson, Sigma, Subfocus.
Sigma? This must be a good few years ago then.
Probably. I'm so major, like 7 years ago maybe. And then I was just like, why have I never been here? Do you know what I mean?
Why? It just clicks in it.
So from then on, for a bit then I was going out most nights and just loving the rave scene and getting involved with the music, but I wasn't producing. Not to get too heavy, but I ended up in hospital at one point. I ended up dropping out of uni because I wasn't too well. And when I was in the ward, I was like, didn't have anything with me, didn't have my guitar with me or anything. And I was like, how am I going to get through the next few days without, losing my head kind of thing. And then I downloaded an app called Nano Studio. It's like this crappy little DAW that you get on your phone, just a digital audio workstation. Put like a kick on it and some hats and like some crappy synths. And then I just started there, and then I just became completely obsessed with it. Moved back home, bought a Mac, got a full-time job, saved for a house and that. And then every night after work, it was just like till 2-3 in the morning, just producing. So yeah, honestly, without that, it completely changed my life.
Oh, it's fascinating, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Such
a good story.
Cheers.
Well, I can kind of relate. You get obsessed with things. When we first started this, like, I need to buy myself a laptop because like my girlfriend's always like, you need to stop on your PC.
If you talk about Football Manager,
after
that, I'm going to be fuming.
No, because of like editing and that. Because when you can, if you've got I missed the trick with not getting a laptop, like editing, producing on the go, which makes it so much better. Yeah. Because like sometimes I'm just sat in that room and I'll be sat down here, I'll be watching TV, but I won't be thinking about TV.
Yeah.
I'll be thinking about, what's going to be our teaser video next week?
Yeah.
What's going to be this next week? Like, it's constant.
Yeah. So what do you do? Everything on a computer then?
Everything on a desktop computer in a moment. It gave me a good excuse to buy one. To be fair. I spent a lot of money on it, but yeah, it's perfect really. And for what I'm doing, it's all about getting experience because we've never done anything like video.
Yeah.
Well, you've done kind of sound work, haven't you? Obviously.
Yeah, obviously I've done sound work, but I've done the odd bit of video stuff. Because of my old YouTube channels.
I've still never seen them. He won't let me see him. I want to see him.
Yeah.
I want to see. Well, did you have like an alias?
An alias?
Yeah. Was it just DJ White?
Don't know what it was. But
here we go.
Was it an alias? Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it?
To play Minecraft.
People do that though. That's how most people start. Because you're like I don't know, your big YouTubers like Syndicate.
I mean, look at all the Sidemen. They've all got a different name, haven't they?
Oh shit! Yeah.
The what?
You know, the Sidemen.
You don't know the Sidemen?
Nah. Am I missing out on something here?
Do you know KSI? Really?
No, go on.
Do you not watch a lot of YouTube?
No, not that much to be honest. It's mainly like Joe Rogan clips or like documentaries.
They have another one. Get in a rabbit hole with Joe Rogan.
Oh man, there's so many. So with
Sidemen are basically like the biggest
UK
YouTube group, and they're like a super group.
Mm-hmm.
So like KSI's like he's had boxing matches. He's now had like
songs in top 40 and stuff like that.
Yeah, he got number one, didn't he?
He got number one album.
Yeah, and like it's just like, and what they do, they started as like the old traditional kind of playing games with nerdy kids in the bedroom.
Okay, yeah.
And now they're like global superstars.
Well, so what did they just stream playing games and that?
They do all sorts now. With like they've got their own like food company. They've got their own drinks company. They've got like they're like unreal. Like the houses they own are just like mega.
That's mad.
And they just started off as like just 6 like typically nerdy kids through school, or 7, sorry, yeah. Shit, yeah. And now we're just like absolutely stratospheric.
That's crazy.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah. But anyway.
Tangent number 4.
What I want to ask you is,
man.
So last week we had Liam Ross on, Lakota, and he was like, he was a DJ first. He didn't even intend to produce.
Yeah.
Were you producing first or were you DJing first?
Yeah, I was producing first, to be honest. I started DJing. I bought some decks, like, you know, like the little Pioneer DDJ ones. Like,
the 400s?
Yeah, just the ones you got to plug into your computer and that. I started producing first, and I was like, I want to start mixing and just give that a go. And it took me so long to get the hang of that. Like, I was watching YouTube videos and stuff, but I just couldn't quite get it.
What took you longer, producing or DJing?
Probably producing, because it's just a longer grind. I think I wasn't putting enough time into DJing. I was I'd get like a little house show or something, and then I'd cram everything in like 4 days before. But with producing, it definitely taken longer, but I think because I prefer that. I'd much rather sit in a studio than play out. Even though I do like playing out, but if it was one or the other, I'd much rather just be in a studio writing tunes.
See, with me, I probably learned to DJ to a good level in about 2 months. But then producing took me about 2.5 years, and I'm not even there yet. You know what I mean?
It's amazing like that. Well, you're quite, because it sounds like you're very musical orientated, especially when you're like, picking up your guitar, like your folk, obviously different music, stuff like that. So did that kind of play into... I'm trying to think, like, do you know, with your producing, do you have like that many ideas? Do you just kind of...
I mean, you can have producer's block.
Yeah, that's really bad.
Is that actually a thing?
Yeah, man, yeah. I did quite bad last year for about 4 months. And every time I sat down to write anything, it was just like...
Nothing coming.
No. And then I'd get an idea, and then I'd listen to it the next morning and be like, no, that's terrible. So that is a real thing. But, yeah.
Do you like try and look out for inspiration in your normal life? Because I know at Flavor D, she likes to carry around... what do you call it? Like a mobile, like the
recording
device.
Yeah.
And she likes to sample things from her everyday life. Have you ever tried doing that before?
Yeah, I've done a few bits. Like you can do it just on your phone as well, because it's not terrible quality. Mainly for like background foley and stuff. Do you know, for like even though you'll have like, especially in drum and bass, you'll have maybe like some synths playing an atmosphere. But if you have like a vinyl crackle or like someone walking down the road or trains or whatever it is, just sitting. If you put it quietly, mute it, and then unmute it, you'll hear a massive difference, and you can barely hear it in the track. It just fills a part of the frequency spectrum.
Interesting.
So it's something to think about.
I've never thought of it like that, but you have to be the analytical kind of scientific side to it. So
I always like a vinyl crackle, mate.
Yeah, man.
Really nice.
There was one it's like the TV. Do you like the old
static?
TV? Do you have the old static
Yeah,
TV?
yeah.
And like, it's odd because after events, you'll be like, I don't know, I like turned on and it was like static TV on mum's like old TV upstairs, and I was like, whoa, because it just takes you back to the night before, doesn't it? It takes you straight back, and it's so odd stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think it's fascinating.
No, yeah. But you were saying, sorry, you were DJing for 2 months and then you got good.
Well, self-defense, good.
Pick yourself up, mate.
Yeah, man.
It was 8 months before I ever got a gig out. But after 2 months, I was doing I had like pre-drinks and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
that's
you
sick.
were playing like pre's, weren't you, and stuff like
It
that.
was good fun.
That's where you've got to get the kind of the confidence, you know what I mean? You're in a zone where it's like, if you do fuck up, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like, but it's gaining that confidence and the experience, so, that's sick, man.
Yeah. And then I just basically got thrown into playing in clubs because something came available, and they were like, do you want to do it? I was like, I'd be a fool to say no, because the money is so much better than I'm getting at the wage job.
That's the thing, and it's hard to say no to things. Like when you get an opportunity, it's just like, well, we've got to just take everything and run with it. And then if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Like, it's fine.
It's ballsy though, isn't it? Because I suppose the best way to learn, isn't it? Just throw yourself in the deep end and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's it.
And if it goes wrong, what's
What
happens?
Most people don't even know. Like you can be cringing behind the decks, like, oh, that was terrible. Everyone's on the dance floor, just like loving life.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you grow. Do you reckon it helped that you were in like a not foreign city, but like a different city to where you? Because obviously, because you're from Wales before and you came to Manchester, do you reckon that helped? Because obviously, if you started playing gigs around here, you're gonna know people you're playing to. Do you reckon that was that's like a big thing for people to do?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I suppose there's more pressure on if you're playing in front of people.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because if you're never gonna see them again, it's like, oh, it's fine, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the end of the world. Yeah.
That's my motto for an hour. I don't care. Just embarrass myself. You're never going to see me again. So it's sound.
That's why you're bad from half clubs in Manchester. You don't need to talk about that.
Should we quick break, boys?
Yeah, quick break.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but come back for part 2. We need to delve more into your songs, to be fair, because some very good songs, some very good tracks you produced. So yeah. Definitely. Back for part 2.
Sweet.
Let's do it.
Part 2. And we're back.
There we go.
Let's go.
Nice little refresh.
Alright, let's go. Straight into it, mate.
Straight into it, mate. Well, we're talking about your songs because you've had some. Deakin told us a very nice story on our podcast as well about you being noticed when you went to was it a festival down south? I think.
Yeah, it was Hospitality in the Woods last year in September. It was crazy. So me and my friend Dale I think we were watching. Was it Ethelwood? No, it might have been Deg's set in the main hospital tent.
Yeah.
And he, funnily enough, he used to DJ in Dubai like years ago. He had residencies there. He's been around since like the early days.
Yeah.
And he ran into his mate. He didn't know he was there. I'd not seen him in like 10 years. So they were chatting, and I was like, oh, like that's sick. Do you know what I mean? I was just standing there vibing. And then some guy taps me on the shoulder. He was like, UHD? I was like, what? Like looking around, I was like, Dale, have you planned this? And he was like, no. So I was just chatting to him. He was just talking about his productions and that, and I was just like, how, like, do you know what I mean?
How
I
did
was
you
like,
recognise
all of the
it?
places. How did you find me? I was chatting with him, really nice guy, and then later on, I think it was after we watched Dillinger, we were walking back, and then we're at the bar, and then another guy comes and taps me on the shoulder. He was like, "Are you HD?" And I was like, what is going on? Twice in one, it never happened before. Twice in London, like 200 miles from where I live.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Fascinating.
But he'd seen me play at a Sonny Moves gig earlier in the year. That's the tune that North Star's on,
right?
The label. So
yeah,
they do stuff down in London. I played there just after the first kind of weekend that COVID restrictions were done. Yeah. So I went down there and played. But he came to that. But I was just like, why? Do you know what I mean? It was weird.
That is Crazy. Have you ever been noticed since?
No, they're the only times.
the only
But
times.
I did pinch myself. I thought Dale had set it up, but no, it was nice. It was nice. It's it's good to know that the name's growing a little bit, and the hard work is starting to pay off. Do you know what I mean? So it's a nice feeling.
Yeah, massively worth it though. Like, that's fascinating, that, especially in a place like that when you're at a gig yourself. Because like so did they find just because they know your social media, or kind of what did they say?
So I think the second guy obviously spotted me at the gig, but he knew like stuff that I was doing anyway, because he was at the time I think I was just about to release the Pray for Afghanistan compilation, and he was talking about that, and it was just weird. And then the other guy, I think I'd spoke to him on Discord once or twice, in like a feedback session thing. But yeah, he said he followed the tunes as well, so it's crazy. I couldn't quite believe it. I just couldn't get my head around it, but it's nice, you know what I mean? Like whenever I see people that aren't necessarily huge, I've seen a couple of producers at Andy C at Wembley, and I went up to him and said the producer name, like, oh, you're part of Solar, and he was like giving me a hug and that, so it's just nice, you know what I mean?
It is now, that little bit of recommendation.
Yeah, that's it, man. There's too many bad vibes. So.
Yeah. Spread good vibes.
Yeah, man.
Live, laugh, love.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
It's just not be a dick, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just be a nice person.
Yeah.
It's a good way to be about it, though, especially because if you're in like that niche sort of thing, and like imagine if someone ever came up to us who we don't really know. And was like, are you? And I was like, well, what? I want to prank my mate. You see,
Go on.
I don't know it on the pod.
Well, you don't really. You won't listen to this, don't worry. He only listens to the ones he's on. But actually, it doesn't matter about this because there's quite a few. So one of our mates who's been on, I want to get someone to just like go up to him and be like, "Are you thinking off the Offbeat podcast?" And I just want to do that one.
See what happens.
Just like one when we both had a few to drink, and just see
in the bar or something.
I just want to see how he reacts. He's not a shy guy, but
which mate are we talking about here, just for reference?
Well, I don't want to say his name in case he's watching, but one of them from a Christmas special.
Right.
Just because I think it's funny, but we've never had anything like that yet. We've had a few people who like when we're going to be on a night out in a pub.
It's more the fact of people that you loosely know coming up and talking to you that you don't.
Some people who like religiously watch this, you know, and I find it fascinating.
That's it.
And do you know when people say like,
shout at you, you know who you are.
some people will say like the littlest thing. Do you know when it's like 35 minutes into an episode, it's like one little line, and you're like, wow.
They'll reference a podcast like
and they'll just say like a little thing, or they'll say like, oh, that story that I don't know, like Deakin said or something, and you're like, wow, are you actually full on listening to this? And I was like,
start talking to you about Greg's or something.
Why do we love Greg so much?
I've had an issue me recently, so I've had the podcast leaking into my actual life. So
Okay.
I'll be talking to like, I don't know, mum and dad or my girlfriend Aaliyah or whatever, and I'll be asking her podcast questions. Brother, like, if you could fight any animal, which would it actually be?
What, were you just sat around chilling?
Yeah. I just bring it up like
conversation starter.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh yeah, but most of our podcast questions are just
stupid.
Yeah. What is your Greg's order?
Right, you guys are going to be disappointed in
me. Do not say that you don't like Greg's.
I do like Greg's.
Okay.
But it's probably going to be, do you know the new vegan cheese and bean melts?
I've not had them.
Oh, mate, they're well nice.
Are you a vegan?
I'm veggie. But I always, whenever I go somewhere, I always try and have a vegan option because it's getting so good now that I'm like, KFC, for example, they brought out the vegan burger. Yeah?
Yes.
And then it went away for like 8 months, and then they brought it back in January, but I think it's gone again because no one was buying them. So like every time I go somewhere, I'm like, right, don't get something veggie, get something vegan, keep it on the menu.
Okay.
That, or they do a ham and cheese baguette, and that's really good. But they charge you like 40p extra to toast it. Like, no, cold, lad. I'll have it cold. It sounds.
I never get to anything like that. I've had the Christmas special ones.
Yeah,
but I've never had a baguette or anything like that.
They're nice, the baguettes, but I can't face paying an extra. It's like triple the. It's like £3 for a baguette. Isn't it? It's like £1 for a pasty.
Yeah.
3 pasties for a baguette. Do you know what I mean?
Walking out with 3 pasties. Yeah, I would walk out.
Walking out with 6.
It's a deal. That's why it was a deal.
What are your Greg's orders?
Oh, I'm a big sausage, bean, and cheese fan.
Nice.
See, I think that's
I'm gonna try the vegan
thing
one.
ever.
I am gonna try.
It's
that.
good. Yeah, man. Cheese might taste a bit weird if you're not used to vegan cheese, but give it a pop.
Give it a
What's the Mackey's vegan burger like?
Do you know? Yeah, I had it once last week. It reminds me of Mackey's, like when I used to eat it.
Right.
But I'm not a big Mackey's fan.
No.
It's a last resort. Do you know what I mean?
It's a processed shit, innit?
Yeah. I just feel crap after eating it, so just try not to.
This is a good question then. So after a DJ gig, what food do you get after a gig?
The other night before it, I'll come back. The other night before it, me and Josh were at Breeze, and we're like, "Can we get on these decks and start spinning?" And they're like, "Yeah." So Josh was like, "I'm going to order Mackey's. You going to have anything?" And I was like, "Oh, I really should." But I was like, no. So I ended up having a pack of McCoys. Not nutritious at all.
Yeah.
Like, just plenty of beer and a pack of McCoys. Afterwards, though, I do. Do you know what? If there's a Subway open, I really do like the vegan subs.
Nice.
Yeah, they're sick, man. They do a
Subway's
vegan meatless
lovely.
meatball and it tastes like chicken. So, yeah.
What's that, corn? Or
No, I don't know if it is corn, but I think it's just their own, do you know?
Their
Well,
own
like
kind of-
veggies and
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, Subway's where it's at, I reckon it's good.
stuff.
Yeah.
24-hour Subways are just spot on.
Yeah, it's what you want in it. Like, you
Yeah.
don't feel quite as bad having one.
Yeah.
It feels like semi-healthy. So,
Fills you up as well, doesn't it, Subway?
Yeah.
Like, it fills you right up.
Only issue with Subway is after I'm working, so I'm always driving home. So with the Mackey's out, you can just grab chips. It's no bother. With the Subway, you're there.
He's big ball marinara going everywhere.
Elbows on the steering wheel down the motorway at 4 a.m.
You got
Southwest sauce all down.
You got lettuce coming out of your ears, like flying everywhere. I never thought of it like that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
How would you eat like a kebab or something? Would you just
do you know
not?
what a workaround might be for that? Do you know they do like the little kid subs? They're like 3-inch or something.
Oh,
I think.
yeah, but
So you could just
bites.
get that loaded and just start
Yeah, bite size.
Can I have 7 bites, please?
That's not a bad shout, that man. That's next time.
A great
Yeah.
shout.
Yeah.
Have you seen them? They're fucking tiny, but like a little square.
Oh, yeah.
Really tiny. Put like one piece of
Perfect for
cheese on them.
driving.
Now you were saying then about kebabs.
Yeah.
In Liverpool, Mr. Kebab, they do kebabs a bit different. It's not like a loaded on meat. It's like an
Mr.
actual...
Kebab. Is that his
Gets
proper
it up.
name?
Is that
Yeah.
that round Concert Square area?
Yeah,
Yeah, I've walked past it. Yeah.
Yeah, spot on.
Is it good? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Proper like actual meat spin, not just
Actual
crap,
meat spin, yeah. And
It's probably a bit of crap as well, let's be honest.
Yeah. But it's in like an actual wrap, so it's like wrapped up like a proper...
Ooh,
Oh,
like
it's
a
like a wrap.
like a gyro? Is it?
Like a gyros, yeah. A bit.
I just really just butchered down.
Yeah.
Butchered
Sorry,
that.
the Greek in you watched it.
I thought you were referring to something else.
Shout out the Greeks watching. I do apologise. Yeah, they always rip off the top, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, they rip off the
Yeah.
top really for eating.
That's what it's like, yeah. It's spot on.
It's a good vibe, the gyros, isn't it? It's a good vibe.
Oh, I love a gyros. There's a gyros van right outside Lane 7 in Manchester.
Oh, I've heard good things about Lane 7. It was it all Star Lanes before that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Is it good?
Yeah, I DJ there
Oh dear.
on Fridays, yeah. But yeah, it's good fun.
Oh,
It's
sweet.
good fun.
So what music is it? Is it like house tech? Is it commercial? Is it R&B?
It's commercial. Anything goes.
Oh,
as long
that's
as
good.
it's, as long as it's not too heavy or not down tempo. It's got to be exciting, fun, but not like too heavy.
Yeah. Just upbeat, like happy,
Yeah.
crowd pleasers, that stuff.
And if you're on early, don't swear.
Do you get a mic?
No.
Oh, I thought you imagine him emceeing in the middle of Lane 7.
Yeah, shout out the bowlers.
Please.
I could take
Have
a
you ever
mic.
done that?
Have you ever MC'd?
Have you ever got a mic?
No, that would be embarrassing.
I can imagine Josh getting on a mic. I can
Doesn't
imagine
he?
Josh
I reckon
getting
he
very
would, though.
happy.
I
I
reckon
reckon
he could.
he'd grab a mic and Don't need to just get on there for a minute, just say thank you and everything.
Get your hands in the air. Whoop, whoop. Ooh, there it is.
So some DJs have gone into that now. Like Holy Goof
does it. Yeah,
Holy Goof does it a lot. He never used
Yeah,
it.
he was doing it at Cream when I seen him this year. Last year. Yeah, he does all that now, doesn't he?
I think he's because obviously him and Skepsis got mates with Jaws, didn't they? And the American scene.
Oh, Jaws loves doing that.
Yeah, the Americans they all love it, don't they? So I reckon he's probably got it off them. And he blew up, didn't he?
Yeah. Holy Goof's massive now.
He blew up. He left Crewcast behind. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
He went.
Was he originally part of Crewcast?
Yeah, he was part. Yeah, because he was at every Crewcast event we went to. He was part of Crewcast. I'm sure he was.
Nah.
I thought it was
the
him.
originals were Skepsis, Mr. V, Notion, Darksea, Laz Crew, and one more. Boo. No,
Boo.
Brucey.
I swear Holy Goof was part of that. Was TS7 not part of that either? As well?
I don't know.
Because I'm just thinking the events we went to. Or maybe he was just always there because he mates with him.
Yeah, mate. Was he playing or was he just there?
No, playing. Yeah, he was always playing, but it makes sense, doesn't it? I used to always like Laz Crew to finish off a night.
Laz Crew's well good.
Laz Crew's really,
DJ.
really good. And he used to always, and it would always be like a high energy set at the end of the night, exactly what you want.
Yeah.
And he used to nail it every time, and you'd be like, yes, thank you. Like that, I'm happy with that.
I was actually just saying to Luke on the way up. The way your night worked out, so it was like, when Monroe was on. I was saying to Luke, that's the perfect set to finish on because you've had Liquid all night.
Yeah.
So everyone's still got loads of energy, and then you can play, just go for it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It was opening Liquid, and then the cool thing was it was an opening set, and then it was Josie and Gemma Rose. If you've heard of Gemma Rose, she's got a few tunes with like the likes of D&B Henry and stuff.
Right.
But she's coming up anyway. But yeah, it was like they played a set, but they had like live vocals as well, so it brought a different kind of element to the night.
Nice.
There was a stage, and then it was Rhea and Colette Warren with Ben Soundscape behind the deck, so they did their full album that they'd done, and a few other bits that Rhea's been a part of and Colette as well. But then
really good, yeah.
That's sick, yeah.
As soon as they went though, and Monroe came on, everyone just raided the stage, and you could see the venue manager just tearing his hair out like that's health and safety. So we had to move all the stages, but it was sick. It was nice to bring like another, because normally it's just like no talking or an MC and just vibing. So it's good to have vocalists there as well.
I think that's good.
I like that. We saw that when we saw Hybrid Minds.
Oh, Charlotte.
She kills it. Her and Tempsa.
Oh, Charlotte in.
Yeah.
So good. She's number one. Well, Colvin does it a lot at the moment, doesn't she? She likes to get on the mic quite often.
I don't know how she does it because she DJs and sings.
Yeah.
She doesn't produce or does she? Is it who produces for it? What's he called?
I don't know the other guy's name, but I know.
You see him. Do you reckon he likes to be in the background? He's producing fucking bangers, doesn't he? He's really good.
I don't know if they're both a part of it. To be fair,
do you reckon it's like a mixture?
Maybe, yeah. I'd say she'd like to have some input on it.
Yeah.
But she mainly does the vocals on it anyway, doesn't she? So
yeah.
But yeah, she does a good show. I've not seen her, but
I've not seen her. She's like the one. The enigma that I haven't seen. It's weird because the amount of acts we've seen, like festivals and whatever, like different sets here and there. Never seen Colvin.
Yeah,
it's odd.
What's the best set you've ever seen?
Oh,
that's a podcast question. That is a good one.
Or even to break it down and make it easier, like the best one you've seen at a festival, because there's a lot of sets.
Shy Effects at Creamfields was very good, very very good.
I can't
Friction at Warehouse.
Friction
at Warehouse. I weren't there at Part Life. Oh, what? It was like one of the first warehouses we ever went to.
Friction at Part Life.
He absolutely. He was on after Manu Leng, I think. Friction.
Yeah.
And he absolutely shelled it because Manu Leng did it really well.
Yeah.
Started off baseline, brought into the drum bass, finished on it, and Friction came on, just absolutely shelled it.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah.
He absolutely nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably go kind of Friction.
Friction? What are you saying? Are you saying same or?
No, I'm going to go with one I saw quite recently, actually. It was at Return to Dance down in London.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, the
Very
Chasing
nice.
Status residency.
Yeah, it was Dimension there.
Oh,
you love Dimension, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's my favourite drum and bass set, but I'm not going to say my actual favourite set because it's not drum and bass.
No, go on. Let's go.
I mean,
Pirate Copy at Leeds Fest, Relentless Stage.
Oh, nice.
Unreal.
Nice.
Unreal.
Relentless.
I was sober as anything because I was driving home as well.
Yeah.
You can tell it was a good set.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can appreciate it, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, it was spot on.
Pirate Copy were they in town the other week? I swear they were.
He owns Kaluki.
Is it they or I thought it was he?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a they.
Yeah, it's a
I
he.
seen him play at a few years ago. They did an event in an abandoned mental asylum, and like the forecourt, and it was like Pirate Copy, Salado,
so
Camel
cool.
Fat. It was mad. It was a mad little
so
venue.
cool.
You walked in and you were just like in the middle of this forecourt, but like it was
Yeah.
completely like ruined. But it used to be a mental asylum, like the early 1900s. It was a sick little venue.
That's mad.
What's your favourite set then?
That's tough.
HD at Meraki.
Yeah, you did all right. That is tough. Do you know what? I might, for a festival set, I'll just break it down.
Yeah.
It might have to be digital set this year at Hospitality in the Woods. Last year, just gone. He dropped this track by Nerve called Retro.
Right.
It's the most disgusting jungle track I've ever heard. Honestly, I'll show you a video. The crowd, as soon as it dropped, everyone was bouncing. Like
Yeah.
the energy was sick. So yeah, say digital.
What about kind of, so like, not just normal gig then? So say like your warehouses, your, I don't know, whatever gigs you want in and around local towns and stuff.
Gigs is in like what, still DJ events or bands or what?
Yeah, still DJ, bands as well. Like, my best ever band I've seen, probably Sabian.
Oh, nice.
Sabian's really, really good. Unbelievable. Saw them at Leeds Fest and they were amazing there.
Yeah.
Can't top that. Saw it at Manchester Arena and I was like,
Even
wow.
better.
So happy. I was so happy.
I don't know.
You mentioned like your punk, didn't you, before, like punk and metal and stuff. Are you still into your punk and your metal? Or?
I listen to it from time to time, but not like as religiously as previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest band, well, not biggest, but probably one of the best was Leeds. I watched Metallica on the Sunday.
Fucking fair enough. Fair enough,
Yeah.
Like that then. I mean, it's a
But
fair
yeah,
enough answer.
I used to go to like loads of little like hardcore shows in Liverpool and stuff where it's
Nice.
like, that's proper DIY. Like drum and bass is like the punk of the dance scene, I like to think of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the one that no one really talks about, but it's like it's got such a thriving community and people there because they genuinely love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see a lot of crossover with that, especially with like Pendulum, because they were quite the, not punk, but obviously they were the crossover between like metal and drum and bass.
Do you know why I like Pendulum so much? Would you? Because of like, like the music I listen to. Because I remember because Kieran used to send me, or like loads of tracks he used to send me. They were either like kind of rollersy sort of element tracks, or he'd just send me like guitar, bass lines, and you just be like, yeah, got me down to a T. Anything like Pendulum, like you've got your big guitar riffs, and I'm like, bit of me.
All about it, yeah.
All about it, mate. All about the energy. I'm like, yeah. Straight in there.
Yeah, no, they're sick full band.
I was like, oh, what about kind of like DJs then?
DJs, smaller DJs. Do you know what? I know I've just played with him, but Monroe showed it on Saturday. He's got 4 decks on his rider and he uses all of them. Like, do you know, like people are like, oh yeah, I'll 3 decks and then they'll stick to like 2.
Yeah.
No, he used all of them. Like, and I didn't hear one clang, one thing that was slightly out of phrase. Everything was just, it's crazy. Have you watched this?
I wouldn't expect that for Liquid, if I'm completely honest.
Well, it is Liquid, but he definitely plays like the darker, darker Liquid, if you like again, like Visages and some Monty and even Prez stuff.
Don't go as far as like Neuro, he just kind of steps in.
No.
Imagine having a Liquid set and chucking some Neuro. I'd love that.
It would be a bit of a vibe change, wouldn't it?
Shady vibe. You'd be like,
to be honest, that's reminding me, Camo and Crooked, Unreal Live.
I've not seen them, but I do like them.
I'd really recommend
that
seeing them.
was in London. I was there. It was London. Was it the first Chasing Status? Was it Chasing Status?
I've seen him in
then?
London twice.
It was Hospitality.
Yeah.
It weren't Chasing Status. It was
Hospitality
in the Park. That was a good event.
Yeah, good event.
That was a great event.
I've just thought of someone, Dead Mouse at Printworks. That
Oh.
was insane.
I bet that was good, yeah.
Got him tattooed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was ridiculous. He played half a techno set because he's got a side thing called I can't even remember what it's called now. But he's got a techno side project, and he's got his deadmau5 stuff. So he started with like stuff like, have you heard of like Enrico Sangolino and
proper techno?
Like that came through the speakers. I was expecting him like to play like nice chords, and that top is just straight in. I was like, what is going on here? And then like towards the end, he was playing more of his deadmau5 stuff. So yeah, if you ever get a chance, Test Pilot, that's his techno side. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to see deadmau5, 100%.
Yeah. One the goats.
Yeah,
electronic music.
Massive.
Have you heard of an account on Instagram called I can't think of the name, but he does visuals and he does deadmau5's visuals. Have you seen them? It's like weird cartoon stuff, and it's got like, he does like Kim Jong-un and stuff, like walking along with like Trump and that. I'll have to find it, but the visuals are just ridiculous. Right.
And at Printworks as well.
Yeah, man.
Printworks.
It's on the bucket list.
Oh, have you not been there yet?
No.
You need. It might be getting turned into offices, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, after this season, so you're gonna have to go this year.
Yeah.
There's a lot that never been to Concourse either.
No, I've never been to Concourse.
What else? What's the one called in Nottingham?
Not Motion. That's Bristol, isn't it?
Yeah. What's one in Nottingham called? It's Stealth. It's called Stealth.
I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell.
I can't remember. There's one in Nottingham that's massive as well. I'd love to go to. We're not that well travelled, are we?
No. London or Manchester or Liverpool.
Been to Leeds a couple of times.
You don't need anything else, do you?
Yeah, that's a lot.
We don't really know much else. Iron Upper. we saw Manny Wagner. By the way, was sad when we met him.
Yeah, they were.
Have you ever had that sort of starstruck moment? Because I know you said you like to go up and talk to people. Has there ever been any DJs that you've met and you've been like, shit, like?
Yeah, a few. I don't know who to say that. There's been a few occasions. I went up the Sunny Moves night we played in London this year. I went up to Hugh Hardy after his set. I was just like, sick set, man. And then he was expecting me to say something else, and it was just really awkward. It's like, safe scene a bit. But yeah, I was pretty starstruck seeing him. I was just like, what?
What is happening?
Yeah, no, he was one of the first guys that I started listening to when I started. So like, it's crazy. Even when I met like Talomic, I was like, at first I was like, what? Like,
this is mental.
We booked Aperio as well, and like I walked in, I was like, shit. Like I've spoken to him loads, but do you know what I mean? It's just like that initial. But I find that like when you meet these people, and you don't have to put them on like a pedestal. Do you know what I mean? They're just
people, aren't they?
Yeah, that's it, man. Like everyone's normally so humble and so nice anyway that you don't need to sweat it. Like,
of course, makes sense.
Have you ever been at an event and heard one of your songs being played?
No, that's not.
Not happened just yet.
It has happened, but I was running the event, so
right.
Yeah, I'll pass up.
But one of the DJs like.
Yeah, he knew me anyway, and he dropped it in, and I was like, oh, sick. But no, not yet. I'll be gassed when it happens.
Yeah, I'd be buzzing. I'd jump, even if it's now an event, I'd jump through the window, mate. I'd a crowd.
No, it was still sick, but it was early in the night, to be fair. But still good. I like that.
Still,
yeah. It's cool when you get your tunes played, even in like online mixes. You know, like for just guest mixes. So yeah.
Did they ever like tell you beforehand? But do you ever like, because they SoundCloud mixing, YouTube mixing and stuff? Did he ever like let you know and say, "Oh, look, I've used your track"? Did they?
Sometimes no. Sometimes you'll just get a notification on Instagram like you've been tagged in a post, and you go on it and it's like, "Oh, they played your tune." So that's always nice though.
And then not even everyone does a post tagging all the DJs in the mix.
Yeah.
True. Like, to be fair, I thinking back, I use quite a few unknown DJs' work in my mixes all the time. And they probably have no idea that I play the songs all the time. They probably have no idea.
Do you know what's probably a really good one? Do you know, like, DJs obviously it's really good them playing your songs, but someone IDing it in the comments, I bet that's probably better. Maybe it's someone you see an ID and you're like, wow.
Or like you go on your stats and you see like Shazammed.
Yeah.
And it's like someone was there like, what is this tune, man?
Can you see that? Can you see how many people have Shazammed your tunes?
Yeah. I think there's
so
something
cool.
called like song stats or something.
Right.
I've not got any of them yet, but yeah.
It'll come.
Yeah, it'll come.
Definitely will come.
Yeah.
Well, I want to talk about that kind of like where you're going in the future, because obviously you are running some big events at the moment. Are you wanting to kind of stick down the events line, or are you wanting to kind of merge it within your production, or?
Yeah, a bit of both. I obviously want to push the music. Me and Josh run it because we just love it, and we want to kind of grow together. We want to bring something else to the scene that we feel like, not that's missing, but we just want to bring, as we were saying earlier, like a bit of a community family vibe.
Yeah.
Do you know? So it is something we're pushing forward, but I also definitely want to get forward with the mixing and my own productions. But through doing our own events, it's a regular opportunity to DJ, network, meet bigger artists. Like I gave Monroe USB on Saturday. I was just like, here's some, why not? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly. If he doesn't reply, he doesn't reply, that's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely want to push on with events, but production is where it's at. Do you know what I mean? That's really where I want to take it. I want to be able to earn. If I could work part-time and do music, that would be ideal for me.
That'd be amazing.
Like 3 days a week in the office or whatever, and then the rest of the time DJing, producing, doing like mixing, doing a Patreon, like that'd be cool.
Yeah,
it'd be special.
Have you ever created your own sounds and put them out there? Like, like we say with the Patreon, I see a lot of creators do that and like sell the sounds and stuff.
Like sample packs and stuff.
Yeah.
No, to be honest, I've only started sound designing myself like the past year.
Right.
I was doing it for quite a while before that, but it was all terrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just started kind of getting into the rhythm with that, and 9 times out of 10 I'm producing my own sounds through Serum, and because it's so like, do you use Serum?
Yeah.
It's so user friendly.
Yeah.
Because you can see what you're doing.
I saw some masterclass. I think it might have actually been Deadmau5. So it was someone, and they were going through all the equipment they use.
Yeah.
And then they said, "Oh yeah, and we've got this Serum as well, and this is what we do 95% of our stuff through."
Yeah.
So they had thousands of pounds worth of equipment, and then this one plugin that costs £200. That's
Mental, innit?
It's crazy. Yeah. Most people have got a lot of the hardware, but don't get me wrong, once you get to that point, like people like Heist and Deadmau5, they've got all that stuff. I see Heist all the times that I've got a brand new synth, and it is sick. But for just the quick, when you sit down like, I'm inspired, you don't want to be like loading a synth up and getting it on and on. You just want to be able to crack Serum open, know what you're playing, right, I'll make this, I'll start experimenting. I'll experiment, make a plug, make a pad, and then just straight in. You don't want to be wasting time when you've got that. Even if, because when you like, you don't have much time sometimes. It's like, sometimes you got an hour. It's like, right, let's bash something out in an hour.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just about being as quick as you can, as efficient as you can as well. But yeah, it is something I want to do, Patreon. I think it'll come maybe later this year once I'm a bit more confident and got a bit more of a following. But yeah, watch out.
Speaking of following, what do you want to shout out, mate? Where can we find you on socials?
Yeah, so Instagram is HD Music UK. You can find our brand Disintegrate Audio as well. That's just Disintegrate Audio. You can find me on Spotify just under HD. Find me on SoundCloud. I think that's HD Music UK. And I have got a Facebook page, which is just HD Music. I did need to shout, my girlfriend runs a dog Instagram, so I do have to shout Miniature Juno as well. Go follow that.
Shout out
cute
Juno.
Well, we're going to make sure we always tag everything.
In the description below anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate.
Absolute pleasure, mate.
Yeah.
It's been fun as well.
Yeah, man, it was good. Let's do it again.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good laugh. I want to get you and Josh on.
Yeah,
I want to get both. I want to get both of you, because that'll be funny.
Yeah,
that'll be a right laugh. But yeah, make sure you check everybody out in the description. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe our video as well.
And if you're still listening now on Spotify, rate us 5 stars, because it really helps. It's a new feature. Yeah, we don't plug Spotify at all, which is a bit odd for a podcast. It's really, we just plug YouTube. But if you can help us out, even on YouTube as well, just simply give us a like. The algorithm's mad. Yeah. And it is mental. But yeah, make sure you get on over Spotify. Drop us a follow. Helps us out massively. Yeah, and we'll see you next week, guys.
See you next week, people.
Take it easy.